Welcome to Run the Clock with Jermaine and Tanesha.
Hello, this is Run the Clock, where we discuss the latest in sports news. My name is Tanesha.
And I'm Jermaine.
And today we're going to talk about if there should be an asterisk on this year's NBA champion. Is Kyrie jealous of LeBron? Should the NFL have a bubble? And were the NFL top 100 rankings wrong about Pat Mahomes and Lamar Jackson? So let's get started.
Run the clock!
So the first topic we want to discuss is, should there be an asterisk on this year's NBA championship? So as you guys know, with COVID-19, it's really been crazy with sports, just trying to make it happen. You know, people having cases, trying to have a bubble. And so with all of that, what we want to talk about is, should we take this year's NBA championship, the winner, should we take them serious? Or should they kind of have an asterisk because it's not the true season? So that's what we're going to talk about.
Well, first of all, I just got to say I commend these players on all the things that they went through in this particular bubble experience that they had. I personally feel like this bubble experience has made obtaining an NBA championship extremely hard. There should be no asterisk at all attached to the NBA champion. I think this is the hardest NBA championship that any NBA player has acquired. Like, even if you want to take into account the fact that there was no home court advantage. There was no home court advantage on either side. So people are saying, hey, it's not as hard. They haven't really been in a hostile environment. How can we say these players are good? They haven't had to deal with fans or distractions of traveling or flying, all this. I'm like, well, either way, the purest form, the purest form of competition is no distractions. It's me against you, okay? Who's better? That's the purest form of competition. So that being said, not being able to see your family, not being able to see your wife, if you're a married man, and that gets tough. It gets tough having to deal with all of that, your children. And this is going to be the hardest NBA championship of all time. And that's my opinion. No asterisk at all.
Okay. So for me, I'm going to say no as well, but that's only because my team, the Lakers, we're probably going to win. We're 2 games away. Now, if any other yes. team would have won, I would have said yes, it's fake championship. No, but but because we're winning, of course not.
That would be so wrong. That would be so wrong.
But yeah, I'm with you. You got to remember the NBA season started, the Lakers, our team, we started training camp September 16th, I believe it was. Today is October 3rd. So it's been a full year and we're still not finished playing. So that's crazy. It's been a whole entire year and we're still not done with the 2019 season. So that in of itself, that's a lot. And then like you said, there's no home court advantage. We played our tails off this year to be the number 1 seed. Not for the heck of getting the number 1 seed, but because we want a home court advantage.
Right.
And if there was a game 7, we wanted it on our court, but that got thrown out the window. Like you said, there's no fans.
None.
So you're kind of in there just like pick up basketball or something.
No.
The field is off. I'm talking about as far as the feel of it is off for the players. I'm sure they're used to it now, but yeah, it's. I do think it's a lot. And then, like you said, the family aspect of it, that's huge. Have you guys ever remember, like, on a snow day, like maybe the first day and the second day, you're like, oh, yeah, this is cool. But by day 3 and 4, you're like, dang, has the snow melted outside? I'm ready to get out of here. And you kind of get that cabin fever. So can you imagine? The Lakers have been there over 90 days. Over 90 days. And I mean, you can only bring but so much family. So, I mean, they might have their spouse and maybe a child. But
1 Instagram model per single NBA player. So, they struggle with that.
I think it had to be somebody that you had a relationship with prior. I don't know how they determined that.
Saying that. But as long as she was in your DMs for about 2 weeks, then you get invited.
But yeah, it had to be tough. Like you said, I think this is tougher than even playing how they've played, in the regular season prior to this.
Oh yes.
So you got to take your hats off to whoever wins it.
This is easily the toughest.
Yeah.
ever of all time.
Yeah, for sure.
So here's the deal. So KD, with his new podcast he's got going on, he of course invites Kyrie. And Kyrie has some interesting things to say. Shade, of course. What he was saying was, you know what? On all the teams that I played on, I was always the best option until now. Now I can look over to that other side of the court and say, you know what? That bleep can make that shot too. And of course, that was a firestorm because he played with LeBron James on those Cavs championship teams. And someone questioned that depending on the situation of the game, who's going to be the best option. So it was blasphemous for him to say. And of course, LeBron kind of responds in a not so shady, but shady way, saying that, hey, me and AD, we're not jealous of each other. So a lot of shade to talk and discuss about. So let's talk about that. You know what I'm saying? Run the clock!
Yeah, so when I think about Kyrie Irving, a couple of names come to mind. Narcissistic, egomaniac.
Oh, absolutely.
He's one of those people to me. Again, I don't know Kyrie, but from some of the statements and things that he says, the earth is flat. Yes. I know. We'll start our own league. Let's not go to the bubble because we can't go to the bubble and do social justice at the same time.
This is impossible.
So, he's all over the place. To me, he comes off as someone that wants to be the man and he wants people to look up to him like he's some great philosopher or something. And so I say that to say, yes, I do think he's jealous of LeBron. LeBron has always been the man. He'll always be the man on every team he's on. And LeBron, when he came back to Cleveland, Kyrie was actually upset about that. That's fact. That's actually been reported on because he wanted it to be his team, even though he had been losing like crazy. so bad that they got the first pick and got Andrew Wiggins. That's how sorry they were.
That's true.
So LeBron came back, I'm coming home to save everything. And Kyrie felt away.
I'm coming home.
And LeBron always treated Kyrie like a little brother. And Kyrie didn't like that role. So that's why he ended up leaving and going to the Celtics. Kyrie was like, I'm my own man. Like, I'm good. And he never embraced that. So it was definitely shade.
Absolutely was shade. I mean, Kyrie, there's so much history with Kyrie and myself.
You know Kyrie?
No, absolutely not. But the fact of the matter is, when he tried to climb along my Boston Celtic team,
True.
I mean, there were we had some things going. We had Isaiah Thomas. He was moving. He was rolling. He was shaking. He was great for our system, for our team. I still feel bad about what Danny did to Isaiah Thomas, But, hey, it is what it is. Kyrie, he wanted out. He wanted out bad, too. Mm-hmm. And I was telling all my friends, I said, man, I just don't know about this Kyrie cat. I said, man, I'd rather just keep Isaiah, man. Forget Kyrie, man. He's just something about him. He just creates all these firestorms wherever he goes.
He's a terrible leader.
He's not a leader at all. That's the point. There's no lead in him.
He is.
Yeah, so, he comes over to our team and just disrupts the whole thing we got going on. He says he wants to retire Celtic, ends up leaving in a year and a half. Because he only played for 1 year and a half. He was hurt a half a year, and then he played the last year, and that was it. He wanted out. He wanted to go to Brooklyn. So I was like, all right, so this guy is that kind of guy. So then, fast forward, now he's with KD. And, some could say KD can be moody at times too. Got a lot of respect for KD, but yeah, he has his mood swings when he wants to. So you're going to have these two personalities on the same team. And it's like, okay, what's really going to happen when one is tired of the other doing whatever on the court or even off the court? Mm-hmm. So Kyrie, he's this guy. He's so jealous of LeBron and what he has going on because LeBron is always a galvanizer. He always brings people together.
Yeah.
That's what things he's always done.
He is a good leader. Yeah.
He's got AD there. They're doing great. They're about to win a championship. What can I do? Oh, let me put some headlines right in the middle of the finals.
Yeah,
it's gonna
shade our championship.
It's gonna disrupt everything LeBron's doing and make him look like he ain't nobody. He ain't the best option. I'm the best option. I was always the best option. And now I got. It's like, just shut it up, bro. Like, just go on with your business. Win a championship in Brooklyn if you can. I doubt it if you can, but if you can win a championship, go ahead and try, because you're gonna see that it's not as easy as you tried to make it out to be. And he even called LeBron and apologized to him about, hey, I didn't know it was this hard to lead a team, but
Yeah, it's a lot more to leadership than just hitting clutch shots.
A whole lot more. So, there you go, Kyrie.
All right, so for our third topic, we're going to talk about should the NFL have a bubble. So it's worked beautifully with the NBA. I don't even think they've had any cases. I think it's been 0 cases the whole time. The NFL, the first three weeks went off without a hitch, but now all of these cases are starting to pop up. Cam has COVID. The Tennessee Titans, a couple of their players have, and we've had to reschedule some of the games. So we wanted to pose the question: should the NFL have a bubble?
Run the clock! Yeah, I personally think that the NFL needs a bubble. If not for the regular season, gotta be for the playoffs. You gotta create some type of bubble for the playoffs. Because you can't have 8 teams. What is it going to be, 10 teams this year?
Yeah, I think they added.
They added 2 teams on each side, or 1 team on each side. So it's going to be 10 teams total this year. So I'm like, okay, if we get to the playoffs and say, down the line, would we be even worse is if we get to the Super Bowl and then Patrick Mahomes catch COVID or something.
Yeah, that would be messed up.
Dak Prescott, if they make the Super Bowl.
You don't got to worry about the Cowboys.
If they, you never know. The Cowboys might get it together. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? They might get it together. But Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson. With Russell Wilson,
that's more realistic.
He gets to the Super Bowl and he catches COVID, man. That's going to be like, what?
That would mess everything up.
So you got to get a bubble, some type of bubble atmosphere, at least for the Final Four. Okay, you guys make the Final Four, the conference finals. Everyone's staying in this hotel. Y'all ain't going nowhere because we cannot risk someone catching COVID in the middle of a huge playoff game, a conference finals game. So, yeah, there needs to be a bubble established.
Yeah, so first of all, selfishly, I'm disappointed because this is messing up my fantasy football team.
Yeah, of course.
Right, all of these games getting postponed. I don't know who to play or what. But anyway, in real life aspect,
it was messing up my team in real life because the Chiefs have a game postponed because Cam messed around and caught the COVID.
True.
I ain't saying he went out looking for the COVID, but he messed around and caught the COVID. So.
Yeah, so with the NBA, it worked logistically because there are a lot fewer players, as you know. On an NBA team, you only have 15 players max per team. And they only brought 22 of the 30 to the bubble. So 22 times 15, you're looking at about 300 people. So that's doable. Couple hotels, boom, no problem, right? The NFL, logistically, it's kind of impossible to do it for the regular season because you have 53 people. I'm just talking about players. I'm not talking about probably another 20 coaches, referees, ball boys, all that type of stuff. So yeah, you're talking about 53 people, 32 teams. That's over 2,000 people. So logistically, it just wouldn't work unless, like you said, we could try to do it for the playoffs somehow.
Just for the playoffs.
But yeah, they
less players you're dealing with.
Yeah. And they would have to, I agree.
You're gonna have to do it for the playoffs.
I'm surprised they've made it to week 3 without anybody testing positive. I can't believe it.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a lot of people for nobody to test positive.
The Kansas City Chiefs, they're still having fans. I believe it's 15,000 fans.
Yeah, some
they're
of them
sprinkled all around the stadium, and it does give it a more of a game atmosphere. So I like the fans being there. But if these people are not taking care of themselves and taking the proper precautions and they're not wearing their mask and they're not using their hand sanitizer, then we're going to have to either think bubble or we're going to have to think no fans at all or just limited travel and transport even outside the games. It's going to have to be a stipulation. Something has to be stipulated because you can't keep having these players create outbreaks amongst their locker rooms, and then the whole game gets postponed 2-3 days down the line, or canceled completely. Like your Steelers, like they got their game canceled, right? Yeah,
ours is postponed. Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, they definitely got to do something about the playoffs for sure.
Got to get that bubble created. All right, for the last topic in the fourth quarter, we're going to talk about were the NFL top 100 rankings wrong, and it's a lot of controversy going on there. You got Lamar Jackson, who was ranked number 1 on the list. They were voted in by the players. And then you got number 2 was Russell Wilson, number 3 was Aaron Donald, and number 4 was Patrick Mahomes, my guy. So we're gonna talk about whether those rankings were wrong or not. Run the clock.
Okay, so I do think the NFL rankings were wrong. I absolutely think Pat Mahomes should have been ranked the number 1 quarterback. Won the Super Bowl, did an outstanding job.
Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah, Super Bowl MVP. You guys were trailing in almost all of those playoff games.
All of
brought
them
you
we
back. I mean, he's amazing. He's my fantasy quarterback as well. But anyway, I digress. So I got my handy dandy notebook. So I wanted to compare the two because Lamar was number 1, right? Pat was number 4. So these were their 2019 stats, and they're pretty close. So completions, Lamar Jackson had 265. Patrick had 319. Passing yards, Lamar had 3,127. Patrick had 4,031. Touchdowns, Lamar had 36. Patrick had 26. So
Patrick was hurt though for a couple of games.
That is true. So the interceptions, Lamar had 6. Patrick had 5. And then I look at their completion percentage. Lamar's at 66 and Patrick's at 65. So they're pretty closely ranked.
And you can say Lamar probably had a whole lot of more yards.
Yeah.
Than Patrick had running the football. So
I would say they're pretty closely ranked, but I would definitely take Patrick. Lamar, I know he got the MVP, but he gives me an RG3 effect. I just feel like at any moment the teams are gonna figure him out. I don't think he's a great passer. So I just feel like, you know what, RG3, we thought he was the next thing coming, and that one injury and he was never the same. So I can't quite get on the Lamar train.
RG3 has more arm talent than Lamar Jackson.
Right.
And
Lamar's not even close to RG3.
He not in arm talent, he's not. But ironically, Lamar has throws that he can make. He has a
tight end.
Select few. You know what? The whole tight end thing, I personally feel like they're just not getting this man no weapons now. Hollywood Brown. He's a one-trick pony to me. Like, he can only run one route, straight down, because he can't really do any other routes because if he could, then he'd be doing that more than, Lamar would be getting them the ball, but clearly he can't go over the middle. He can't do his route tree is limited. Let me just put it that way. So he needs a true number 1 receiver there. Now, say he would have got Antonio Brown like he was trying to get. Mm-hmm. Then we kind of can really say what was really good on his passing. You know what I'm saying? Now, what if he got DeAndre? I mean, I love my dude Pat. Pat got mad weapons. I mean, he can throw to everybody. I mean, you got Tyreek Hill. You got Sammy Watkins, who's a skilled wide receiver. You got Kelsey killing the middle. Got all kind of routes over the middle. He just be killing the middle. Then you got Cole in the slot. Like, ooh. I mean, just and the type of speed them boys got. Then coming about the backfield, you got Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Like, who can catch? Like, I mean,
so you agree that Pat should have been 1. Lamar shouldn't be 1.
I personally think that Patrick Mahomes should be the number 1 player in the NFL. Period.
Okay. Agreed.
And I feel like Lamar probably should have been number 2. Or 3 to Russell. Now, see, the true question is, who's better, Russell Wilson or Lamar Jackson?
Are we going off of last year or what we've seen so far this year?
With who?
Because Russell's killing it this year.
He's killing it. I mean, this year Russell's better than him.
Lamar looked bad in that Monday night game.
He looked horrible. But I'm just saying, he my dude though. I love Lamar Jackson.
And the funny thing why we brought this up was because Patrick, once he threw the touchdown, because he was killing it, Lamar and Patrick went head to head, and you see Patrick, he was like, "Oh, y'all had me 4?
1, 2, 3, 4."
That was funny.
That was that Jordan moment, like.
Thank y'all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and definitely hit the subscribe button. That way it'll alert you every time we have a new episode. We'll see you guys in a little bit.
Run the clock. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.